All right, Joe.
What do you want to do for the opening this week?
I don't know. Normally we try to think of something that has to do with the episode.
I know, but this one we're doing the episode season recap.
Right, we're doing our bonus episode, so I don't know how to start it exactly.
I don't
what
know.
funny thing can we?
I don't know. Should we?
No.
Oh shit! You're already recording.
Yeah, I hit record.
Oh man, let's just go.
Maladjusted Misfits.
All right. Well, I'm Adam,
And I'm Joe,
and together we're the Maladjusted Misfits.
and this is the one where we talk about friends.
Bonus episode.
It's the bonus episode.
Bonus episode.
25 episodes.
I'll try and find some like noisemakers to put under here.
Like a celebration. We made it. First season down.
The first season's down.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I'm excited. It went fast. I mean, I'll tell you what, it keeps us busy. It's not something you can just slap together at the last minute. It gives us stuff to do on the weekends.
Yeah.
And keeps us out of trouble.
I'm not sure how much trouble we were getting into before. Yes, it does all those things.
Yeah.
It's been quite a hoot.
All right. So this episode's going to be a little different.
Yeah, a little different, structured a little weird.
Yeah, so hang with us. We're going to go through some trivia. We're going to do our season reactions. We're going to go through each character. We're going to share some cut scenes. It's fun.
You've been gathering friends info for the last 3 weeks.
Yep. We watched all the DVDs for the first season, so we have all the cut scenes. We're not going to share all of them.
Yeah, she says that like it's not something we normally do.
Right.
She's also currently on season 6.
Right.
Which makes thinking about just feelings about season 1 really hard to kind of contain.
At least I'm not watching it in our bedroom, too, and it would be on a different season. Are you ready for some trivia / statistics?
Yes.
Okay. So, season 1, we had 10 different directors.
10 different directors. So
Yeah.
24 episodes.
Yep, 10 different directors.
Yeah.
James Burrows was the number 1. He directed 11 episodes.
I would have guessed him
Yeah.
for the most.
Over the season, we had 8 different writers / duos. So 8 different groups of people,
Right.
some singles, some duos,
Right.
wrote the episodes.
Right. Like the Jeffs.
Yep. So the most episodes written together was tied with creators Marta Kaufman and David Crane and the Jeffs, Strauss
Right.
and Greenstein. So each duo wrote 5 episodes each in season 1.
I just want to be clear. Sitcom writing is a group effort, I assume.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know, like David and Marta are probably always in there working on everything.
They're always listed as writers.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody's always getting credited for the episode, but that doesn't mean that they're working on it solo.
Right.
There's
And then there's story editors
Right.
who come in and add things, and we
Right.
don't list all those because some of them have 5 or 6 an episode.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we don't normally do that, but I'm just throwing it out there for the season finale. that
Right.
A lot more people working on each episode than just the 1 or 2
2
listed.
writers, yeah. All right, so we mentioned in our very first podcast episode that the first episode aired on 9/22/1994, and it had 21.5 million viewers tuned in.
That's a big number.
So the average number of viewers that viewed in over season 1 was 24.8 million.
Holy
It
shnikes.
kept the number
Right.
and added to it. And it fluctuated, but it never dropped below 20 million viewers. So
Right.
That's pretty cool.
It was popular right from the get-go.
It was. So, do you want to guess what the highest rated episode of season 1 is?
The highest rated episode
so-
of season 1.
The one that people rate the highest, so critics and viewers alike.
I'm going to say Having spent a lot of time with it the past few days, I'm just gonna guess the blackout.
Yes, it is episode 7, the one with the blackout. That's the number 1 episode.
Yes.
Number 2 is episode 18, the one with all the poker.
Okay.
And number 3 is episode 24, the one where Rachel finds out.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
All right, so now can you guess the least favorite episode by critics and viewers alike?
Least favorite. I'm gonna guess. I might know this one because I was kind of scrolling. I'm gonna guess Fake Monica.
Yes, it is Fake Monica. I would think they would pick the one with the ick factor.
Right.
But they really, really don't like Fake Monica.
Yeah.
I think it's a funny episode.
I agree. I think it's a good episode.
It's not my favorite, but it's a good one.
No.
All right.
Neither of those were my favorite nor my least favorite.
Right. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then critics scored the first season of Friends. So Rotten Tomatoes score was 70% fresh.
Okay.
For season 1. And then this article called The Critics' Consensus reads, Friends' daffy situations elicit just as many eye rolls as it does laughs. But this perky sitcom gets by with a little help from its immensely likable cast. And I think that really sums up season 1.
I would agree. I think that does.
And they all have likable qualities.
Yeah.
So. All right, I'm going to finish our trivia/statistics with some maladjusted statistics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so can you guess what our number 1 listened to podcast episode was?
Our number 1 episode.
So we had the most downloads of this episode. It's our number 1 downloaded episode.
Well, number 1.
The
The first one, probably, right?
Right.
Because most people probably just start at number 1, even though it's kind of awful and sucks.
It doesn't suck.
Well, I haven't listened to it in a while. But
I always tell people start in the middle and work your way forward and then go backward.
Right.
But number 8 is our number 1 episode, the one where Nana dies twice. So number 1 is the most downloaded, but number 8 is the most popular one.
Wow, that's funny.
I know. And then we have the biggest following. So 83% of our listeners fall in the United States. Makes sense.
Right, yeah.
Illinois being the state with the most downloads.
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
That is.
And then our second highest
Illinois.
listener pool is Australia.
Australia?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we have some mates down under. I apologize for that.
You get at least throw in the good day.
Sorry.
If
Good
you're
day,
gonna do
mate.
that.
We appreciate all of our listeners. And if you share our podcast with anyone, tell them to start in the middle and work their way up.
Yeah. And just an aside for the Australia people, I made a Yahoo serious joke to Joe this afternoon.
Oh, you did. All right, so are you ready to get into some season reactions?
I am.
All right. What else can I say but I love this show?
Right.
I wouldn't be doing this podcast if I didn't love it. It was the first show I watched with people close to my age starring in it. Mm-hmm. But it was different. They were doing different things. Their lives were different because I was married at their age. So it was fun to see them experience their lives in New York City. Right. It was an ensemble cast, so I like that there's not just one or two people and I think we go back and forth. I think, of course, I love Chandler always, but sometimes I really love Monica, and sometimes I absolutely love Joey. So I like having that ensemble cast. It is so funny and sarcastic and about struggling young professionals, and it was like hanging out with my own friends. So I latched onto it immediately.
I think one of the things that makes the show fun is they all like each other. Yeah. And they're all friends. So even when they're picking on each other and, making fun of each other, they still love each other.
Absolutely.
As opposed to like some of the others, like Seinfeld, like not all those characters love each other.
Right. I think Elaine could have done without George many times.
But Friends is, they all, even when they're picking on each other, they still love each other.
Yeah, they support each other. They have each other's backs. And
I get, and my thing, my reaction is first and foremost, like you said, the characters. I think the characters are fun out of the gate. we Misfits like to pick on Ross and Rachel, but Ross and Rachel are a thing because of their bad decisions.
Right.
And who has not had friends like that make bad decisions? Friends that you just want to grab them and ask, what are you thinking? What is wrong with you? And that's what they are. That's who Ross and Rachel are. And they, we give them a lot of grief. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily know if they belong together or not. But it's fun watching them deal with it.
Adam doesn't debate whether or not they were on a break. He debates whether or not they should be together at all.
Right. But I think that's one of the fun things about Friends is, they make bad, weird decisions throughout the series. Mm-hmm. Not just Ross and Rachel, all of them.
Sure, yeah. Plus, I'm sure we made bad decisions at that age. I know we made bad decisions. Well, yeah,
I know the friends of mine who would have loved to grab me and go, what are you thinking, Adam?
All right. So, it is a sitcom. Mm-hmm. So there are sitcom-y situations, and we talk about it like when Phoebe and Monica are taking care of the guy in the coma. Right. It's a ridiculous plot.
Right.
Goofy choices that you make that make you cringe, that you face palm. But it works because it's unique. It's different. And
it's one of those things that's not, those kind of things aren't normal everyday life.
Right.
But it's somebody going, what if somebody had a crush on somebody in a coma?
Right. What if two girls had a crush on somebody in a coma? Yeah. It's unique. And I think that's why I gravitated towards it in the beginning, because it was so different. Because I didn't really watch a lot of sitcoms growing up,
Yeah.
We grew up, I was born in the 70s, obviously. And so my dad controlled the TV until I moved out, basically. So unless he wasn't there, he chose everything we watched. So I didn't watch a lot of sitcoms. So, yeah.
Yeah, see, now in my house, we watch a lot of sitcoms. But I kind of started to wean myself off of them once I hit teenage years.
Right.
I started to move on to movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. So... And that's partly why we missed Friends.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Right.
Because...
when we would hang out, we would just watch movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
This first season, I think there's some little things that are lacking. Some of the style.
Right.
The wardrobe's weird. I think it's weird that 30 years out, the first couple seasons look wonky. But, once you get into 3 and 4, they look fine, even though it's so old.
Right. Even though it's 27 years later. Yeah.
I think writing and performance stuff, I think they all have a learning curve that gets better. And Joe, you've said before, I'm not the biggest fan of the first season.
No, you would skip it if you could.
But I think through practice, I think they do all get better. And I think some of the clunkiness of this season is what allows them to get better.
Yeah.
So, even though it's a little, rickety, I think they learn from those mistakes.
Yeah. Plus, as we go out throughout this entire series, every single one of them has this moment that they're the best acting I've ever seen.
Right.
Joey has moments and you're just wow. And Ross does too, even though he's annoying. He just really delivers.
And that's the thing. They're all very good actors, and I think that's part of what helps, like the quote you just read. Yeah. They're all very likable and they're all very good.
Yes. So, through the first season, watching it the first time, and every time I watch it, I find something else. I get to know the characters in a different way. Watching these to do a podcast, you really listen, you scrutinize. Mm-hmm. You don't have things, 90% of the time up until this podcast, it was on in the background while I was doing other things. I watched it, but...
You were waiting for the jokes that you liked.
Right, and I would laugh But watching it to do this podcast, I learned so much. And we picked up things that we didn't pick up on, even through the first 900 watchings. So,
right. Like Chandler saying the exact same things to break up with Janice every time.
Janice.
I never picked up on that. Because we usually watched them all out of order anyway.
Right. And remember when we watched it this time, you were like, I didn't realize how much Janice was in season 1.
Yeah. She is a huge part of season 1.
Yeah. All right. So I liked watching the characters, blossom and change and grow into their quirky selves. And I like how there is some conflict. I like the Ross and Rachel situation. even though it can get tiresome. Because if there was an outside antagonist, I think it would have gotten really old. If there was something...
Right, if there was a force keeping them apart instead of themselves.
Exactly. It was like they weren't communicating, or the other didn't know, or they did something stupid. And so, most of the time they're their own problem. So even though, like I said, it gets tiresome, I still enjoy it. So.
Yeah. My favorite thing about the first season, and again, this is something that they carry on, is attacking questionable topics in fun ways. And making things that would just be like a grandmother dying. Oh, she dies twice.
Right.
You know?
I like when they say that. Nobody questions it. We even watched the deleted scenes and nobody questioned Nana dying twice.
Right.
It's like, all right. Okay.
So I think it's fun that they kind of go into, like, I like the ick factor episode, even though it's, I don't know.
It's cringy,
And in some ways, it kind of leads into The Office and stuff. It's because they do a lot of those, they look for a lot of those subjects that are like that.
Right. Well, because if it was normal, it wouldn't be as entertaining.
Yeah.
I love that all the characters are different. They all have unique personalities. They all have little quirks. You know, we didn't hear it this season, but later on you hear Monica's, I know.
Yeah.
And, Rachel's like, no.
Right.
And we have Chandler's inflection that started in the first season, but all that stuff I just love. I instantly care about them. And I'm invested, and they make me laugh my ass off.
Right. All right. So favorites.
Oh, yeah.
So our favorite section is a little bit different this week.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Joe.
Yes.
Your favorite line.
Okay.
This is season counts.
Okay. For the whole season.
For the whole season.
The lines that I picked for my favorites.
Right.
Okay.
So Chandler had 8 of your favorite lines.
Not surprised.
Phoebe had 6 of your favorite lines.
Okay.
Rachel had 4.
Oh.
Monica 1. Ross 1. Joey 1.
Yeah.
And then also, each having 1 was Jack Geller.
Oh, yeah.
Susan Bunch. And George Clooney, Dr. Whatever.
Dr. Whatever, yes. So, Adam.
Yes.
Funnily enough, your number 1 line person was also Chandler with 8.
Shocking.
The same amount.
The same amount.
Yeah. Phoebe was 3.
Okay.
Ross was 2.
Oh.
Joey was 2. But you win the award for the most miscellaneous lines read. So you had 1 for each of these. Judy Geller.
Okay.
James Burrows is the director.
Yeah.
The nurse when Nana dies.
Uh-huh.
The fireman.
Yeah.
Steve the stone guy.
Hey.
Carol Willick.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Heckles.
Uh-huh.
Ethan. And then Susan Bunch.
Oh.
So yeah, you like the quirky, but that was another thing that you really liked is the guest stars or the people that just had 1 line. Or
right.
Just...
They're good off the bat about having, it's like the second episode, right, where Ross has the caveman thing.
Right. And that lady.
Diorama.
Right.
And that lady goes off on her little tangent.
Right.
That's not one of my favorite tangents, but they gave her something to do other than just
stand there and be
yes, doctor, and walk away.
All right, so favorite outfit season counts.
Favorite
legitimate
outfits.
Or ironic?
Okay.
All right, you want to start with me?
Yeah, I'll start with you.
Okay.
I'm going to go in ascending order, so I'm going to start from the bottom.
Okay.
At the bottom, Ross says 0.
No, I did not like his outfit.
Ross had 0 outfits that you liked.
Right.
Then Tia had 1.
The daiquiri lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they
I
were
believe
looking
she was just wearing a dress shirt, right? With no pants.
Yeah.
And then Susan had 1.
Okay.
Joey had 1 legitimate outfit for you.
I did like his sweater.
Chandler had 2.
Okay.
1 ironic and 1 legitimate.
Oh, yes.
Monica had 5 of your favorite outfits.
All right.
Phoebe also had 5.
Ooh.
And then number 1, the fashion queen, Rachel Green.
I'm not surprised. She'll probably continue to be my number 1 because I really did like her outfits. But Monica's a very close second. Yeah. And then every once in a while, Phoebe throws something in there that I'm just like, I would love that. All right. Do you want me to read yours in descending order,
You
too?
can read them whichever order you want.
You had two people that had zero outfits. You had Ross and Chandler. You did not pick any outfits for them.
And Chandler gets close sometimes. I mean, again, Chandler was probably the closest to how I would dress.
Right. But, without the sweater vests.
But I would never say myself was the best dressed either.
All right, so you gave Carol 1. Mm-hmm. You gave Janice 1.
Okay.
You gave Susan 2.
Yeah, that sounds right.
You gave Joey 2, and they were both ironic.
Yeah.
The diesel vest in the first episode and his elf costume.
Oh, the elf costume.
Yeah. You gave Monica 3. Mm-hmm. Gave Phoebe 6.
Okay.
And we tied it, Rachel, with 9 favorite outfits.
She didn't break it into double digits for either of us, huh?
And then one episode, we both liked Phoebe's outfit the best. We had
I think we had 2 where we liked Rachel's, didn't we?
Oh, you're right. 2 for Phoebe and 2 for Rachel. That's right. That's why we were the same number. All right. So this was difficult, but we went through and we picked out our top 3 episodes of season 1.
And I had a runner-up.
Oh, okay.
I had and I'll tell you why when it gets to my turn. You do your favorite 3 episodes.
So these are in order of their appearance in the season. Mm-hmm. The one with the blackout is my favorite. Just so funny. Chandler just cracks me up. Gum is perfection. It's got to be one of my favorite lines ever. I just really like it. And then, the antics back at Monica's apartment, but I definitely love Chandler in the vestibule. Mm-hmm. The one with the boobies, number 2. I think it's funny. I think it's something people that age would definitely do to each other if they saw each other's genitals.
Yeah.
So I like that one. It has the storyline of Joey's dad and his mom. His mom was a fantastic, like 30 seconds or 2 minutes she was on.
Right.
She was so good. And then the last one is the one with 2 parts, part 2.
Okay.
Because of George Clooney.
Just because of George Clooney?
Well, it was funny.
You really love how the girls behave in that episode.
I do. I think it's so funny.
Monica and
Rachel. Yeah. So, having Clooney in there didn't make it bad at all. So.
Yeah.
All right. So those were mine.
All right. My original 3 were all body parts.
You're kidding.
And I really wanted to go with the body part thing, but the one just edged out. Yeah. So I originally had butt, thumb, boobies.
The butt double.
Yeah.
Phoebe finds a thumb and boobies.
Right. Okay. But I bumped the butt.
Okay.
I bumped the butt. But I thought it would be fun to have that body part.
That was really
trilogy.
Funny. Yeah.
But I like the one with the thumb. I know that it's not everybody's favorite. I really like it for some reason. I have no idea why. I think the one with the thumb and the one with the boobies, I like both of those because they all kind of get wrapped up into the central story.
Right.
And, I think that's why I like the boobies one, is because even though Joey's having this problem with his parents, they have the other thing about them, sneaking into each other's apartments.
Right.
Everybody gets wrapped up into the little thing with Joey's parents.
Right, yeah.
And then my other one is just the one with the stoned guy.
Hey!
Again, I like how I like that all 3 of the girls get wrapped into the storyline.
Yep.
I like John Lovitz.
Yep.
I don't know. I just really like I like that one.
That's funny.
And the B plot for that one is Ross learning the dirty talk, and I just think that's all really funny.
Well, those are good. And if you say butt, thumb, boobies one more time, it sounds like a porno.
Yeah, butt, thumb, boobies.
All right, we're gonna take a break before we break down the season.
The season 1 opus of Ugly Naked Guy.
The one with the sonogram.
Ugly Naked Guy gets a thigh master.
The one with the German laundry detergent.
Ugly Naked Guy lays kitchen tiles.
The one with the blackout.
Ugly Naked Guy lights candles and burns himself.
The one where underdog gets away.
Ugly Naked Guy takes a turkey out of the oven and dances with Ugly Naked Gal.
The one with 2 parts, part 2.
Ugly Naked Guy takes up the hula hoop.
The one with the evil orthodontist.
Ugly Naked Guy gets gravity boots.
We're back, baby.
So we're going to do, before we get into the main cast, we're going to do quick little character breakdowns for some of the side characters that we really liked.
Yep.
Janice. Again, Janice. We love Janice.
She's hilarious.
Maggie Wheeler.
Yep. She's cute. She's funny. She delivers her lines perfectly.
Right. In season 1, she's got a lot to do.
Yeah.
You know, she's kind of, Chandler's storylines are heavily connected to Janice in the first season. And we love to see her come back every year.
Yeah.
And then we have Carol and Susan.
Yep. I like the new Carol, not the OG Carol.
Right.
Right.
I love Carol.
Yeah.
Jane Sibbett.
Mm-hmm. She's pretty.
Yeah.
She's funny.
And
Susan is hilarious. I know people don't like her character, and I read it all the time on social media how they hate Susan.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Susan.
I know. It just hurts. I get it, but she's like a sweet person, and in the end I think she gets along enough with Ross that they have a nice little family unit.
Right. And I think that's one of the big parts to the end of the season is her and Ross, kind of
make amends.
Yeah. Maybe people don't like her because they like Ross. I don't care for Ross all the time. So I'm Team Susan, I guess.
I think they look at her as the other woman who broke them up. But somebody else would have broke them up anyway.
Right.
Because Carol's a lesbian.
Carol is a lesbian.
Yeah.
So.
She realized she's a lesbian, and that's her true self, and she should live that way. So if it wasn't Susan, it would have been someone else. So cut Susan some slack, people.
Yeah. And I just think that's funny because I insulate myself from most social media. So I just think it's funny that me not knowing anything about that. I love Susan to pieces. Jack and Judy Geller.
Yeah. Yep, they're both hilarious.
Elliot Gould and Christine Pickles. I mean, she is the nicest, meanest mom,
right?
that I've ever seen. Usually, when somebody's that mean, they're evil,
right? So there's a cut scene that Adam and I were watching, and we'll share it with you guys. But when we got to it, we both looked at each other and went, "Fuck! That was mean."
It was low. And then there's David.
Hank Azaria. So good. So funny. So quirky and cute. And yes, I agree. And I heard that she would have ended up with David at the end of the series had Paul Rudd not been so fucking good at his job.
Right.
I mean, he's cute.
Yeah. We'll talk about their plans for a lot of these characters and things as we get going further into the episode. Yeah. And then Clooney, you love Clooney. Noah Wiley.
That was just a good little interjection of like another series into Friends.
Right.
Playing doctors, which I thought was funny. But I know some people don't like George Clooney, but if you just watch his facial expressions, even when other people are talking. I mean,
he's one of those guys that if you watch him, he's always doing something with his face.
He's so funny.
And maybe that's why some people don't like him. I have no idea. I like George Clooney. I mean, if you watch him in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah. Intolerable Cruelty.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny. But Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Yeah, his face is just, you don't even have to have the sound on and you're laughing at his face. So
okay, so one of the things we're going to do is after we're going to have a section about each character, and then we're going to read some of our favorite quotes from season 1.
Yes.
So we're going to do that with some of our favorite side character quotes right now.
All right. So one of mine was Jack Geller when they were like, she may have died. Mm-hmm. And he goes, we're looking into it.
Right. And one of my favorite quotes of the series is James Burrows himself as the director. Hey, Buckeye, what the hell are you doing? Love it, love it, love it.
I love Susan's line when Ross goes, you have a lot of books about being a lesbian. And she goes, well, you have to take a class. Otherwise, they won't let you do it.
And then my fireman line. Wow, that guy's hairier than the chief. Upon finding, a picture of Monica's old boyfriend.
Right. Always Clooney. God bless a chickpea.
And then my Mr. Heckles quote, that's not my monkey, just the dress is mine. You can send it back whenever. All right.
All right. So we're going to break down each character. We're going to share some cut scenes. We'll talk a little bit about each one, and then at the end, we'll talk about some of our favorite lines.
All right. So first off, we're going to start with the synopsis of Phoebe Buffet, Season 1.
Phoebe Buffet.
Just to let you know, we started with Joey and Phoebe because as characters, they're probably the most underdeveloped of the season.
Right. They didn't have a whole lot of plot this year.
I mean, they each had their episodes that they carried, but by far, everybody knows Ross and Rachel were the big hitters from the beginning.
Right.
So, Phoebe, episode 1, she is very blunt. She says, I would, but I don't want to. She brings Rachel back to reality with her own story about when she moved into the city.
Yeah.
Episode 2, she calms down Monica.
Right.
Reveals herself to have a twin and turns off Three's Company.
I've already seen this episode.
Episode 3, she finds a thumb.
Yes.
She loves Alan along with everybody else. And she gets $7,000 that she ends up giving to Chandler at the end. Episode 4, she steals George Stephanopoulos' pizza and upset she has no pla. In episode 5, she breaks up with Hunger Strike Tony and with Janice for Chandler.
Yes. So there is a cut scene when they're breaking up. Chandler goes up to the counter with Phoebes and he shows her the Bullwinkle socks. And she says, "Oh, these match your Rockies. She really cares about you." And then she goes, "Oh, sorry."
Oh, sorry. That's what I said. That's right. What I was like, she really does him.
She does.
Oh, that's funny. So, episode 6, she goes to the play, Freud. The musical, I guess, technically. She teases Monica about Rachel cleaning the apartment.
Right. There is a cut scene in this one. There is a tag on this one, but this was the tag.
Okay.
So in the tag, it's Chandler, Ross, Phoebe, Rachel, and Joey. And Phoebe starts singing, "All you want is a dinkle." And Joey starts protesting, and then everyone joins in. And then finally, everyone, including Joey, are up dancing, singing the Freud song.
Aw. You'll have to show me that one.
It was really cute.
All right. So, episode 7, The Blackout. Phoebe plays the guitar, and she's always the last to know.
I like that one.
Episode 8, she attends the funeral.
Yep.
Episode 9, she comes to Thanksgiving and wants mashed potatoes with peas and onions.
So there's a cut scene in this one.
Okay.
She's unloading the groceries. She's helping Monica in the kitchen. Ross picks up a yam and goes, "Whoa, what is this? I never saw this at Mom's house."
Oh, no.
And Phoebe goes, "It's a yam." And Ross goes, "Hello, this isn't a yam. Yams come in a purple can."
Oh, no.
"They don't come in these." And he's holding a yam. And Phoebe goes, "Don't take this the wrong way, but back off."
Oh. Nice. Ross had never seen a yam outside of a can, huh?
I know, it's so weird.
Episode 10, she dates David.
Aw.
And then is sad when he leaves for Minsk.
Yeah.
Episode 11, she fights with Monica over a guy in a coma. Episode 12, Paolo gropes her and she tells Rachel.
So, this was a very good cut scene. I wish they would have left it in.
I saw this one.
Yes. So, when Phoebe is telling the gang about Paolo
Yes.
and the massage, Monica says, "What did you do?"
I dealt with it like a professional.
And then it cuts back to her in the massage parlor, and she yanks the sheet out from under Paolo, flipping him off the table.
And onto the floor. It's pretty good.
It is. It's really fast, and you hear this big thud. So I think that Vindication should have been in there.
Yeah, I really like that.
Vindication or whatever.
All right, episode 13, Phoebe dates a shrink that annoys everyone, including her.
Okay, so this one was really funny. You didn't see it, but you'll have to see it. So when Roger comes in to sit down and talk with Phoebe and she puts her feet up on his lap.
Yeah.
So there's a cut scene where it shows Roger coming in the door and he puts his arm around Phoebe from behind and she starts screaming. She goes, "No, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm sorry, but don't ever do that. You can't ever do that thing. I have a thing."
I wonder what he thought about that.
I know. But it was kind of like, out of nowhere. So she kind of freaked out. It was pretty funny.
I'll have to see that. That's pretty funny. Okay, episode 14. She burns old boyfriend stuff with the girls and starts a fire.
Yes. So there's 2 cut scenes in this I want to share. So the firemen give the girls advice after the fire. So, they don't really have a lot, but in this cut scene, they tell them. They say, here's some advice. Number 1, having a boyfriend burning ritual, do it in a well-ventilated area.
Right.
Number 2, make sure if you burn clothing, stay away from synthetic fabrics.
Ooh.
And number 3, try to let go of the anger and learn to love yourself.
Are they firemen or therapists?
I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
And then the second cut scene with the firemen is the girls are talking to the firemen and Rachel says, so you really slide down the pole? And they all say yes. And then Phoebe says, that's so cool. How do you get back up?
Oh, Phoebe.
And then one fireman says, well, rarely do we have to return from a fire as quickly.
That makes sense.
That was funny.
That makes sense. So continuing on with Phoebe's journey for season 1. Episode 15, she arranges for Monica to cook for a stoner. Episode 16, she's mad Joey dates her twin.
Yeah.
17, she tries to lessen Joey's heartache by pretending to be Ursula.
Aww.
18, she plays poker. Episode 19, she searches for Marcel and takes a shot for him.
Yeah, that was cute.
20, Phoebe tells Chandler not to be so testosterone-y.
And call Danielle.
21, investigates credit fraud with Monica and suggests Flame Boy to Joey.
Flame Boy.
22, tempts as Chandler's secretary and finds out that his co-workers do not like him.
Aww.
23, stuck with Ross and Susan in a closet and points out the luckiness of Ben.
Aww.
And in 24, she annoys Ross and then holds up his picture to Rachel.
You do like her in episode 24. She 2 times she really pisses Ross off.
She's super annoyed him in episode 24.
All right. So favorite Phoebe quotes.
So favorite Phoebe quotes from season 1.
Yeah. I wish I could, but I don't wanna.
I remember the day I got my first paycheck. There was a cave-in one of the mines, and 8 people were killed.
I was the last to know about Chandler getting bit by the peacock at the zoo, and I was the last to know that Monica had a crush on Joey.
That is so cruel. Why? Why would a parent name their child Bethel?
Flame Boy!
This is madness! It's madness! I tell you, for the love of God, Monica, to do it!
She has very flamboyant lines.
She's fun.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about Phoebe for a minute.
Yep.
Season 1, what's your take?
I mean, she's quirky as all get out. Like, her mannerisms, her clothes, everything is fun.
Her dancing.
Yes, she's a twin. She brings the realness to the group because she talks about real stuff, like living on the street.
Right. Every now and then they're all kind of from upper middle class families or higher, and she's kind of the ones that brings them down to earth sometimes.
Right. She plays the guitar, not much in this season, but she does. I like that she's a masseur. Mm-hmm. I liked when she dated David. I liked David a lot. I did not like when she dated Roger.
You did not like Roger.
No. And I didn't get to know Hunger Strike Tony, but she was nice enough to break up with him that he gave her a hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Phoebe's a weirdo.
Yeah.
I think she's female Chandler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, especially in the first season, she, again, I think is one of the lesser defined characters. Mm-hmm. So I think she's there to say funny things and be quirky and weird. That's why she's there.
Yeah.
It's funny because she's street and her backstory is so Oprah.
Right.
But she's sitcom street.
Yeah.
Like she never gets bogged down and I didn't eat for 6 months she was never on drugs. Right. She was never, it never gets serious.
Right.
She's sitcom street.
I like that phrase. Sitcom street.
And like I said, she's like Joey. She's a little bit less defined than the others. David, I think is, I think when they were writing the characters, they were like Ross and Rachel. The first season, we're going to have him just pine for last episode she's going to find out.
Right.
and they're never going to get together until the series ends. I think they knew that.
Right.
I think they were always going to flip-flop him around all over the place. Mm-hmm. I think David is the anti-Janice.
Okay. He's not annoying. He's sweet and kind.
Right. I think with Chandler, they wrote for Janice, and they're like, he's going to keep breaking up with her, and then we can keep having her come back.
Right.
And get scarier and scarier for Chandler every time she comes back. And David is sweet every time he comes back.
Yep.
And I think they wanted him to, get married at the end.
Yeah.
Again, the complete opposite of Janice. Yeah. Chandler and Janice were never going to end up together.
No.
But she constantly comes back to haunt him. But Phoebe is great. And I like her in season 1. She hasn't started flip-flopping on her convictions yet. Which is one of her worst personality traits that they give her.
You think she's fucking with everybody.
I do.
All right. You ready to move on to Joey?
Joey, season 1, his arc.
All right.
Episode 1, he helps build furniture, tells Ross to grab a spoon. Number 2, he digs in and eats lasagna. Literally digs in and then
eats the lasagna.
Number 3, he rehearses a play with Chandler and he loves Alan. Episode 4, he takes Ross to a hockey game.
Yes. So remember in the beginning, the cold open, they were talking about being omnipotent for a day.
Yes.
And then Joey walks in.
Yeah, I'm omnipotent.
Yeah. Ross says omnipotent. And then Joey says, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I had no idea. I thought this was a theoretical question. Which I thought that was a big word for Joey.
Right. Theoretical is a big word for Joe.
Maybe that's why they cut it. And then at the very end, Adam and I saw this together. We both looked at each other and went, what? So at the end when they're playing Twister, right? Mm-hmm. And he's standing over Phoebe, they do show the part where he points to her butt because she's bent over in front of him.
Right.
But there's a cut line that says, Joey says to Ross, switch places with me. Maybe Phoebes can be your number 2.
Whoa. Yikes.
I kind of understand why they cut that one.
Yeah. A little over the line there, Joe.
Yeah.
Episode 5, Joey teams up with Monica to break up his ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend.
Yes.
Episode 6, he stars in a musical version of Freud!
Yes.
And he gets an agent, and he's Al Pacino's putt double.
Right.
And then he's fired.
So there is a cut scene after he's is in the musical Freud, and Chandler hands him Estelle's card. Mm-hmm. And it cuts to him in her office. So technically we were supposed to meet her right away, but we didn't. So it cuts to Estelle's office, and he walks in the door, and he goes, I'm here to see Estelle Leonard. And it is the Estelle lady.
Right.
And she goes, let me see if she's in. And she turns her chair all the way around, and then goes, hello.
Fun.
So then she goes, I know, you weren't expecting someone so fantastically beautiful. And she pops open that cigarette thingy.
Yeah.
And then she calls him Love Lump.
Ooh, Love Lump.
And then the other cut scene in that episode is, remember when he goes in and asks Monica for lotion?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he goes in and he asks Monica for lotion for his big day. And then he goes, do you have any tweezers? Because I think I have a rogue hair.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Maybe that's what Chandler walked in on.
Oh, that would be funny or terrifying. All right. Episode 7, The Blackout. He decodes Chandler's Goodacre grunting.
Yes. So remember when they're in the blackout and Ross is talking to Rachel, and Ross says to Joey, he goes, never gonna happen. And he goes, what? She ran her fingers through my hair. And Joey goes, that was a tossle. Yeah. He goes, this is running your fingers through their hair. And he runs his fingers through Ross's hair and he goes, this is a tossle.
That's funny.
It was funny.
Episode 8, Joey listens to a football game at a funeral.
Yes, this is the one where Chandler everyone thinks he's gay.
Yes.
So Joey says to Chandler that women thinking he's gay is going to work for him because women will find him less threatening.
Oh.
They'll let their guard down. Then boom! It's like being a stealth heterosexual.
Oh, those are Paul the Wine Guy kind of tactics. Okay, episode 9, he gets Thanksgiving syphilis. Episode 10, he fulfills an elf fetish.
Yes.
11, he catches Ross kissing Chandler's mother. 12, he shops for a new table with Chandler.
Yeah.
13, discovers his dad has a mistress and then his mom knows about it. Episode 14, he sets Chandler up on a blind date with Janice. 15, he helps Ross talk dirty. 16, he falls for Phoebe's twin Ursula. 17, dumped by Ursula and then nicer by Phoebe. 18, he plays poker. 19, searches for Marcel.
Yep.
20, offended by and then locates the telescope peeper.
Right.
21, he becomes Joseph Stalin and then Holden McGroin.
Groan.
Episode 22, he tells Ross to relax about Rachel's dreams and then is put off by the dream that Rachel had about him and Chandler. 23, he helps a pregnant single mother.
Aww.
And episode 24, he takes part in a fertility study and is there for her. His girlfriend, Melanie.
Yes. All right, what were some of your favorite Joey quotes?
I fold like a cheap hooker who got hit in the stomach by a fat guy with sores on his face.
Tell me you want to caress my butt.
Oh no, how could you do that when she's never shown any interest in you?
Excellent dream score.
You know what blows my mind? Women can see breasts anytime they want. They look down and there they are. How you getting work done is beyond me.
That wasn't a real date? What the hell do you do on a real date?
All right, so Joey.
Joey's cute. He's very cute from the very get-go. And not like, oh my God, he's hot cute. He's just cute. He's a cute character.
Right.
He's sweet. There's like a sweetness to him. He's, caring about his friends. He's not so smart, and that carries throughout the whole series.
Right.
But he goes back and forth like that.
Right.
There's moments where you're like, how could Joey get that and no one else got that?
Right. There's some things you don't get from book learning.
Right.
He's a little ill-defined.
Yeah.
And I think right from the beginning, they knew what they were doing with Ross and Rachel. Mm-hmm. They kind of had more planned out for Monica and Chandler. And then Phoebe and Joey are kind of the, and you can kind of see where they have trouble sticking with certain traits with some of them. Joey is one of the big ones. He's supposed to be a womanizer, but he just got out of a 3-year relationship.
Yeah. And he's a struggling actor, and I think that's legit in New York City.
Yeah. He gets more to do later in later seasons.
Yeah.
I think they kind of find the two of them later. But he's a little bit of the rules and codes guy this season. Right. That he kind of goes full bore on in some of the later seasons. But, you love Joey.
I do.
He's kind of like a hot version of Homer Simpson, Monica Geller, her season 1 journey.
Yes.
Okay, so she had a big first episode.
Yeah.
With Paul the wine guy date, and she takes in a homeless ex-bride, Rachel.
Right. There was a cut scene when she comes out of her bedroom after having been with Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, oh, good, Lenny and Squiggy are here. Which I thought was funny. And at the end, when Phoebe is singing everything everyone's saying, it's a cut scene. Monica's in the background and says, what? All I said was you had a nice butt, just not a great butt. And Joey says, you wouldn't know a great butt if it bit you. And Ross goes, there's an image.
There's an image. This butt took a bite out of me. Oh, so episode 2, she's stressed as her parents come to visit.
This was a good episode, and there was quite a few cut scenes. So the first one is Rachel when she's trying to describe the ring, her engagement ring to Monica when she lost it. Mm-hmm. Monica goes, if we find a diamond ring, we'll run it by you.
Right. Any diamond ring we find.
Yes. And then when she says she was going to make spaghetti, when Judy says, oh, spaghetti, that's easy. Monica goes, well, I was going to have lasagna. And Jack goes, I love lasagna. And Monica says, well, we're not having it. And Judy says, well, why did you bring it up? You know how he latches.
Jack latches onto little ideas.
And then this is the mean one we were talking about.
Oh, yeah, the mean one. I remember the mean one.
So they're just in the kitchen, and Judy picks up the dustbuster.
Yeah.
And turns it on, and then goes, oh, so this does work. It was like cold.
Wow. So episode 3.
Yeah.
Monica's weirded out that her friends like her new boyfriend Alan more than she does. Episode 4, she steals George Stephanopoulos' pizza and is sad that she has no plan, like the rest of the girls.
Right.
5, she poses as Joey's girlfriend to break up his ex and her new boyfriend. 6, she freaks out after Rachel cleans the apartment. Episode 7, she hosts the blackout activities. Episode 8, she loses Nana twice and is constantly criticized by her mother.
So there was a cutscene when Ross and Monica are saying goodbye to Nana. Mm-hmm. And Ross says the line, "At least Nana is with Pop Pup and Aunt Phyllis." Mm-hmm. And Monica goes, "Aunt Phyllis is dead?" And Ross goes, "For like 6 years." Monica goes, "Where was I?" He goes, "Can we focus, please?" And then I think I mentioned this earlier, but when there's a cutscene of Monica and Jack picking out a coffin for Nana.
Yes, I recall that.
And Jack protests about shopping. And Monica says, "Dad, do you think it's because once you make a decision, it solidifies the fact that Nana is really gone?" He goes, "No, I just really hate to shop."
That's a pretty good one. Okay, so episode 9, it's her first Thanksgiving that she prepares, and she burns it all. Episode 10, she invites Fun Bobby to New Year's Eve party, but his pappy died.
Yeah, so there's a really bad cutscene in this episode. Monica pulls Fun Bobby aside and says she recently had a grandparent die and knows how he feels, but he's bringing the whole party down. Fun Bobby apologizes, and she goes, "Yeah, okay," puts a party favor in his mouth, and he blows sadly. And she goes, "Yep, there you go."
There you go. But she didn't cry at all when Nana died.
No.
Episode 11, fights with Phoebe over Coma Guy. Mm-hmm. 12, she makes a dozen lasagnas and passes them out, even to Paolo.
Yeah.
Episode 13, Joey catches her in the shower. And then Monica sees Joey Sr. in the shower.
"Hello, dear."
14, she burns old boyfriend stuff with the girls and starts a fire. Episode 15, she cooks for a stoned guy.
Yeah. Remember at the end when she's talking to Ross about the stoned guy and how bad it was? Well, there's a cutscene. So Monica's telling Ross about the stoned guy, and she says, "I told him that's just how I feel. And he said I was harshing his buzz. And then I said, 'Don't eat that. That's a kitchen magnet.' He didn't listen. So we left him at the emergency room." I thought that was so funny. We left him in the emergency room.
So that's where Steve was at the end of the episode. episode 16, she knits and she talks to Mr. Heckles. Episode 17, she switches identities with Rachel for insurance fraud and then dates doctors. And then they play this weird little mind game with each other. Episode 18, she plays poker. Episode 19, she searches for Marcel. Episode 20, she spies a telescope peeper and is ultimately flattered by the peeper. Episode 21, she gets her identity stolen and makes friends with the thief as she has a nervous breakdown. Episode 22, she bangs a minor. Episode 23, she laments on having a baby. And episode 24, she accuses Rachel of cheating on her brother before she's even started dating her brother.
All right, our favorite Monica quotes. Okay, that is either, "How could you?" or "Enormous breasts."
"We ripped that couple apart and kept the pieces for ourselves."
Looking good. Cider's mulling, turkey's turkeying, yams are yamming.
I'm Monana.
Great, why don't I just take off my clothes and have a nightmare?
Is this like I have an early class tomorrow, or I'm secretly married to a goat?
That has got to be one of the best lines ever. All right. Monica.
So Monica, season 1.
Yeah. And even though they talk about it in later seasons, you can definitely see the mom. Like, she's the mom of the group.
She is the mom of the group.
Yeah. Everyone comes to her house, and I think I relate to this because I was like the mom of our friend group. They always came to our house. I always made cookies. Right. We always had stuff.
You were the responsible one.
Right. I like how she attempts to make Thanksgiving dinner. I remember our first Thanksgiving dinner. We didn't burn anything,
no,
but
we didn't.
Still.
We didn't lock ourselves out and go look at a giant float either.
I love her OCD. I think it gives her a little depth and character. And my God, she gets it from her mom's constant berating.
Right.
She dates a lot of people in this first season, I think. She dates Paul, Alan, Bob, Ethan, Fun Bobby.
Right. I think she does date a lot of guys, but I think she's one of those people, you can tell she's clearly looking for her husband, though.
Right, yeah.
She doesn't seem like she enjoys the process.
Right.
She doesn't seem like she wants to sleep around a lot. Mm-hmm. She seems like she's trying to find the guy that she can just spend the rest of her life with. One of the things I was going to say about Joey is that Joey really needed Chandler, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think Joey needs Chandler. Like, if he would have moved in with somebody else, he could have went off the rails womanizing or, being crazy or whatever.
Right.
But Chandler was a good anchor for Joey to have. And I think Monica is Rachel's anchor.
Yeah.
Had she not been so mom-like, Rachel probably would have just went back to Barry or...
Right. Yeah.
Went back to live with her dad or whatever.
Right.
But I think Monica really has, responsibility baked into her DNA. She has that mom characteristic from the beginning. And I really like the fake Monica and young Ethan episodes right next to each other because I think she does kind of question, do I want to be this responsible?
Right.
And then it's kind of like, I need to be the responsible one.
Because if I'm not, no one else will.
Right.
All right, can we finally talk about Chandler?
Can we finally talk about Chandler? No, we're going to skip Chandler.
No.
And talk about him in season 2. No, we'll talk about Chandler.
Okay.
So Chandler season 1. Episode 1, he shares his unsettling dreams. He builds furniture with Ross, and he does a little Pinocchio dance. Episode 2, he quips and then digs into the lasagna.
Yes.
Episode 3, he starts smoking again and loves Alan, and then quits smoking again.
Yeah. So there was a cutscene when Chandler's teaching Joey how to smoke. And after the first puff, and he goes, oh yeah,
I saw this one.
My God. He runs away. Joey's trying to get the cigarette, but he runs around the apartment, and he says, you can smoke it like this, or like this.
Or put it in your mouth like this.
Or hold it in your mouth like this. And then he goes, and then when you're done, you flick it. You flick it. And he gives it to Joey, and he flicks it. And Chan says, okay, you keep practicing. I'll go put out the fire on the couch.
Yeah. So then episode 4.
Yes.
He takes Ross to a hockey game and then annoys a nurse. Episode 5, he struggles to break up with Janice. Episode 6, he dates Aurora and breaks up with Aurora.
And like you said, I think he's looking for his wife. He knows enough not to be in that relationship where he's not number one.
Right.
Yeah.
Episode 7, there's a blackout. He's stuck in that ATM festival. Let's go get her. Episode 8, he finds out that people think he's gay.
Yep.
Episode 9, he appreciates that everyone else's Thanksgivings suck.
Yeah.
Episode 10, he asks Janice to New Year's Eve and then breaks up with her again. 11, his mom comes to New York City for a visit and kisses Ross. 12, he shops for a new table with Joey. 13, he sees Rachel's boobies and has to share a bed with Joey.
Hey, Kiki.
14, he goes on a blind date with Janice. 15, he gets promoted, quits, catches Joey and Ross dirty talking, and then takes the promotion.
So remember we said in the opening credits there's a scene where Chandler's up on his chair?
Yeah.
So it was in the deleted scenes. So after Mrs. Tedlock walks away, Chandler stands on his chair and says he doesn't think those types of shenanigans are professional in this office as he proceeds to swivel while standing on his chair. And then once he gets his office, when he's showing Phoebe Helen,
Yeah.
So he calls Helen in and he leaves his finger on the intercom button. And when Helen leaves, Phoebe goes, she's not very warm. And Chandler says, she has no personality. And then you hear, and then Chan jumps and releases the intercom button. No wonder Helen doesn't like him.
So episode 16, he tries to fire an attractive coworker. In episode 17, he assures Ross he'll be a good dad. Episode 18, he plays poker. 19, he searches for Marcel. In episode 20, he goes a little nutty in the head after a girl won't return his calls.
He goes a little funny.
Episode 21, he suggests funny stage names to Joey and makes fun of Monica's Wonder Mop. 22, he has Phoebe as a temp and find out that his co-workers no longer like him. Episode 23, he comforts Monica in the hospital and offers to have a kid with her at 40. And 24, he spills the beans on Ross's feelings for Rachel. Crystal Duck.
Leggin. All right, favorite Chandler quotes.
Favorite Chandler quotes.
I wrote a note to myself, and then I didn't need it, so I balled it up, and now I wish I was dead.
Sometimes I wish I was a lesbian. Did I say that out loud?
Knit, good woman, knit, knit.
On second thought, gum would be perfection. What the hell was that?
I'm sorry. It was a one-time thing. I was very drunk, and it was someone else's subconscious.
We think he was trying to spell out monkey.
I like Chandler because he is sarcastic and funny. Mm-hmm. He's sad also. He hates Thanksgiving. He dates Janice and breaks up with her 3 times in season 1.
In season 1.
Yes. I don't like when he dates Aurora. I feel bad that he and Danielle never got together. And at 26, he has a huge corner office in New York City.
Yeah, Chandler's the classic smart guy on autopilot.
Aww,
you know, he just got a job, stayed there,
Yep.
and he's just kind of doing whatever. He doesn't know what to do, I think.
Right.
So he just kind of does whatever, and he just kind of stayed in that one job. I think that's why he keeps going back to Janice, because she's familiar.
Yep.
He doesn't want to have to find anything new. He doesn't go out a lot.
Right.
You know, that's...
Yeah.
You know, you kind of feel bad for him, but you understand that he's come from a broken home and he's quippy and he either puts people off or whatever. But
I think I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just think that underneath all that, like, even though, like, Raj says, you know, use your sense of humor as deflection, I really think he cares about these people in his life.
Right.
And I think it's evident and it's super cute. Like, I mean, he gives Joey money and he teases him, but he never stops giving him money and he never stops taking care of him. And he's always comforting Monica and Rachel and Phoebe. And I just...
Right. He's got a
the
big
nice
heart.
guy, yeah. I like him.
Yeah, he is sweet.
All right, on to Rachel.
Rachel. So we're on to the last 2, the heavy hitters of the season.
Yes.
Oh, so Rachel.
Yes.
Straight out of the gate. She leaves Barry at the altar, moves in with Monica, and gives Ross the green light.
Yes.
Right away.
Which he doesn't ever take. Anyway. No. And then this was the tag. It was so funny. I wish they would have left it in. So Rachel serves coffee, and Chandler starts to tell about a new dream. Okay?
Okay.
Rachel sits down, and this guy by the door asks for more coffee. Uh-huh. Rachel sighs heavily, and the guy at the counter starts to get up to leave, and Rachel hands him the coffee pot and asks him to give it to the guy on his way out. And she turns her back to the gang. He turns back to the gang and goes, okay, so you're in Las Vegas. And then Chandler says, I'm in Las Vegas, and I'm Liza Minnelli.
Oh, God.
The episode ends, but I just thought that was so funny.
He's his father's son right at the end.
Right?
Okay, episode 2 for Rachel. She returns the ring to Barry and finds out that he is now with Mindy.
Okay, there's one cutscene I want to tell you about.
Okie dokie.
So, remember when she goes and gives Barry the ring back?
Yeah.
And says, maybe someday it can be for Mindy. And Barry goes, yeah, like she'd settle for that.
So fucked up. He's so mean to her. Oh, man. Episode 3, Rachel loves Alan. Episode 4, she steals George Snuffleupagus' pizza. And upset she has no plan. And she gets magic beans.
Yeah. So... when they're out on the balcony and they're talking about George Stephanopoulos, and Mon says he's a wild animal. Mm-hmm. So then Monica says, what do you think about our guys? Talking about Joey, Chandler, Ross.
Oh, okay.
And so Rachel says she imagines Joey is like the little kiddie ride in front of the store. You put a quarter in and it just goes.
Oh. Nice.
Phoebe says, but he helped me put my coat on once, and he was really tender. And then it cuts to Joey in the hospital, slowly pulling the buttons on the candy machine, saying, come on, baby, come on.
Oh, no.
Then Phoebe says Chandler has to be seduced. But Mon says it's all an act. She says he's more sophisticated than we think. And then it cuts to Chandler in the hospital at Dora's window, and he has blown up gloves and gauze all over his body. And Mon protests that she doesn't want to talk about Ross, but Phoebe says he's really sexy, and Rach agrees by saying he can be really smooth. And then cuts to Ross trying to drink while holding Kleenex on his broken nose, and then he ends up just tossing the water on his face.
Oh.
Wow. I thought that was really funny.
It's a cute whole little scene they cut.
Right?
Huh. All right, so carrying on for Rachel. Episode 5, she stands up for herself when she does laundry with Ross. Mm-hmm. 6, she makes Monica freak by cleaning the apartment.
You moved the green ottoman?
7, during the blackout, she narrowly avoids Ross by meeting Paolo. 8, she attends a funeral and Ross passes out in her lap. 9, she does not get to ski. No shoop, shoop, shoop. She's stuck with her friends for Thanksgiving. Number 10, she got beat up when Paolo missed his New Year's Eve flight. 11, she meets Chandler's mother and tries to write romance. 12, Phoebe tells her that Paolo made a pass and she dumps him.
Yeah.
13, she's upset that Chandler sees her boobies and tries to sell the score, but fails.
So there was a cut scene because this is the Roger episode 2, right?
Right.
And she's talking about her weeble wobbles, remember?
Right. Yeah.
So there's a cut line, and we find out that Rachel's mom gave away all her weebles.
Oh.
So she goes, and then I woke up, and then she had gotten rid of all of them.
Oh, well, that makes more sense why she was upset.
Right? We thought she was upset because she was being snobby because she didn't have all the boat and the,
right.
You know. But no, her mom threw all her weeble wobbles away.
Well, now I like her mom less. Episode 14, she burns all her old boyfriend stuff with the girls, starts a fire. 15, she waitresses for Monica as a stone guy comes over. 16, she takes down the Christmas lights and then falls. 17, she commits insurance fraud and dates doctors. And has a whole little thing with Monica. 18, she doesn't get a job and she plays poker. 19, she loses Marcel, gets yelled at a lot, and then helps get Marcel back.
That's your least favorite episode.
It's not my least favorite.
You just don't like the way Ross treats Rachel.
No. 20. Has an affair with Barry and meets with Mindy. I'm surprised that one's not the lowest.
Really?
The Barry one. Because it seems out of character.
For Rachel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
21. She helps Monica investigate the credit card fraud. 22, she has sex dreams about Chandler, and then Chandler and Joey, and then finally Ross. 23, she flirts with Carol's doctor, Dr. Flangenflingen.
Franz Blau.
And in episode 24, she finally finds out about Ross's feelings for her.
It took her long enough. All right, favorite Rachel quotes. What bank is this?
Yeah, but if you kept it, it would be like shopping.
Everything looks like jammies now.
Hi, you come in here all the time. I was just wondering if you think there's a possibility you could give me an advance on my tips.
And I hope Barry doesn't kill you and eat you in Aruba.
Chandler Bing, it's time to see your thing.
I do like that line. So, obviously, Rachel comes in as a spoiled brat.
Right.
Yeah. She's got very rich parents. She's going to marry an orthodontist, but she has an epiphany and she leaves Barry at the altar.
Yeah.
She takes no money from her dad. She cuts herself off. She cuts up her credit cards.
Yeah, I think it's weird that Rachel, being how she is, completely reset her life at the beginning of the series.
Right. She moves in with Monica. She gets her very first job at 25, which blows my effing mind.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever not worked.
Right. Well, you had a paper route when you were like 3, right?
I was 10, but close. She has that fling with Paolo, which I think everyone has to have one of those weird, I gotta go with this guy that is not good for me. But I'm glad she breaks up with him.
Who was yours?
Nobody.
Mine too.
Yeah. She cheats with Barry, which, like you said, is kind of out of character. But I also think it's like she's such a hypocrite, later on.
Well, yeah, she's a hypocrite. I also think it's a little bit like I said with the Janice thing. Like, it's just familiarity.
Right.
It's just...
I don't have to think about it.
I've already done it with this guy. What's
right,
the big deal?
Right.
Like...
And then it finds out throughout all 23 episodes that Ross was in love with her.
Right. And she kind of knew that from before.
Right, because he asked her out in the very first episode.
Right.
Well, he asked if he could ask her out.
She knew that he had a crush on her before.
Right, because she talks about it.
But yeah, like I said, I think Rachel needs Monica. Yeah, I think if she'd have moved in with somebody else, it never would have stuck. No. You know, and I think she does become more independent. Mm-hmm. You know, I think she does do a lot of growing. But, I mean, she's still a little spoiled. I was thinking of how she just immediately wanted to commit an insurance fraud.
Right.
It's such like an entitled person thing to just think. Like, oh, I'll just skirt the system so I don't have to pay for it, right? You know, she's the prom queen to Ross's nerd.
Yeah. She did do a lot of growing. I mean, there's still some, and it still pops up every now and then, the spoiledness. But if you think of Rachel from the day she walked out on Barry till the end of the season, I mean, she definitely has the most growth as a character.
Yeah, she definitely does. All
right, we saved the best for last.
Best for last.
We're done. Ross. Season 1.
So, Ross, again, like Rachel, starts off amid chaos.
Yep.
You know, he's in the middle of a divorce of a lesbian, but he likes Rachel.
Right. So there's a cut scene in that first episode. So Ross says that he told his parents about Carol, and they took it pretty well. And Monica says, oh, so that hysterical phone call from a woman sobbing at 3 a.m. saying, I'll never have grandchildren was what? A wrong number?
That's pretty funny. Episode 2, he finds out that Carol is pregnant.
Right.
And he goes to the sonogram.
Pile more stuff on, right?
Right. Just keep piling more stuff on Ross. That's how they play the first season. Episode 3, he's sad that Chi-Chi didn't go to a farm. But he just loves Alan.
He does.
4, he goes to a hockey game to forget about Carol's sexiversary and ends up getting a broken nose.
So there was 2 cutscenes in this one. The first one was when it's Ross, Monica, and Phoebe in Central Perk, and Phoebe's asleep on the couch, remember?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Ross says, I can't sleep in public places, libraries, planes, movies. Monica says, when you were little, you slept at the Grand Canyon. And Ross says, hello? Mom and Dad never took us to the Grand Canyon. And Monica makes the face like, yeah, they did. And then Ross says, Mom and Dad took us to the Grand Canyon.
He slept through the whole damn thing.
That was so funny. Of all that, like, Ross would have really enjoyed the Grand Canyon.
Right. That driveway ride up to the Grand Canyon is kind of long, though.
Right. So Ross is lamenting about it being the 20th of October and explaining to Joey that he had sex with Carol.
Mm-hmm.
And Joey is disgusted and says, you told your sister that? And Ross says, believe me, I told everybody.
Oh, at least somebody else was like, why does your sister know?
Acknowledge that, right? I know.
All right, so episode 5, he does laundry with Rachel and gets a kiss.
Yep.
Looking good.
Yep.
And then episode 6, he goes to a play, calls Joey a big guy, and comforts Joey about his shot. Episode 7, during the blackout, Ross almost tells Rachel, but gets attacked by a cat. Enter Paulo. It's Paulo's cat. What's that cat's name? Damn it. Can't remember. It was so stupid.
Tootie.
Tootie.
Tootie? Yeah.
I think Tootie.
Tootie?
Maybe.
Yeah. Put Tootie out in the hall.
Episode 8, he loses a Nana and gains some sweet and low. Episode 9, Mommy isn't having Thanksgiving, but Sis will, and he talks to a baby bump. Episode 10, he gets a pet monkey.
Yeah, this is where it goes downhill for him.
So this is like Rachel should have definitely went on a date with him prior to the monkey.
Yeah.
11, he kisses Chandler's mom. It's getting worse and worse.
There was a cut scene when Mrs. Bing greets Ross in the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, I heard about the divorce. Lesbian, huh? Well, you know what they say. Be careful what you wish for.
What's that say about her and Mr. Bean?
Oh, right?
Episode 12. Does not want to know the sex of his child. Episode 13, Precious Phoebe to tell Rachel the truth about Paolo.
There's a cut scene here, and Monica asks Ross if he ever thinks their dad cheated on their mom. And Ross says, I don't think so, because that would involve having sex. And I like to think that our parents don't do that sort of thing. Don't we all?
Yeah. 14, he takes Valentine's date to the same hibachi as Carol and Susan.
This was a funny cut scene with Susan and Carol. So they're at the hibachi when Susan gets beeped, remember?
Uh-huh.
And Carol says, I thought they could do the shoot without you.
Right.
And then Susan says, I know, the maxi pads were a piece of cake. You think the midi pads would be much easier. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, a fun little detail to add in there. 15, he tries dirty talk. 16, Ross goes to Lamaze classes. 17, he saves Marcel from a Scrabble tile, assured of being a good father. 18, he plays poker, mainly against Rachel. Episode 19, he yells at Rachel for losing his monkey. 20, disappointed Rachel is seeing and sexing her ex again. 21, he's forced to give up his monkey.
Aww.
22, he gets a beeper. 55, Jimbo or Jumbo, and is jealous of Rachel's dreams. 23, stuck with Susan prior to Carol giving birth. Stuck in a closet with Susan.
Yes.
And 24, takes a trip to China.
All right, Ross's favorite quotes.
Ross's quotes. Okay, this is over at Intercom. Never mind, I don't want to know.
Every day is Lesbian Lover Day.
It's apples and oranges. It's orthodontists and lesbians.
Oh my God, Chi-Chi.
You know what? I better pass on the game. I'm just going to go home and think about my ex-wife and her lesbian lover.
Hey, I married a lesbian to make you look good.
Oh, all of these have lesbian in them.
I was just about to say. Apparently, Ross is all about the lesbians the first season.
He likes to say lesbian, and we just eat it up.
Well, there aren't many sitcoms that say it. All right. So Ross.
Yes, Ross.
He is a sad paleontologist who needs therapy, but instead gets a monkey.
Just say this for everybody out there. Monkeys are not a good substitute for therapy.
Right.
Maybe a kitten.
He has a baby boy.
Yes.
And he spends all of season 1 pining for Rachel. The entire season. Until the last episode.
Until the last 5 minutes of the episode.
Right. And he's coming back from China and he's completely forgot about her.
Right.
So I know he's annoying, but he's a good character because he's the one that, like, he has all the shit happen to him.
Yeah.
And he finally gets out of it. He starts to get better, but this season is Ross got dumped on big time.
Right.
And although he's annoying, you know, you kind of feel sorry for him, you know?
Well, you do. I mean, you start to not because he's so whiny.
Right.
It's the whininess that starts to get grating.
Right.
If he wasn't whining about it, I don't think we'd care.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, again, Schwimmer is good at playing Ross without playing him too down in the dumps.
Right.
But again, it's so funny later on when he starts to get crazy. Because when you start to get to like season 7 and stuff like that, he's like, dude, see a therapist. It's so sad. Yeah. But yeah, the first season is definitely them keeping Rachel out of reach.
Yeah.
And that was the whole plan. And like I said, right out of the gate, episodes 1 and 2, divorce and pregnancy.
Right.
I mean, they lay it on as thick as they can.
Right.
And I only wish they would have played the monkey thing for the cry for help that it was.
Right.
Because it's played as like, hi,
fun.
I'm Ross and I got a monkey.
Right.
And I wish somebody would have been like, is he okay?
Right. We've talked about that. It's
like,
it's definitely to anyone from the outside, and it should have been obvious to his friends. Whoa.
Whoa. Exactly.
He got a monkey.
Yeah.
And all they picked on was that the monkey, you know, was changing the the TV channels and
right.
pooping in shoes, but not the fact that that was a cry for help.
Right.
All right. We're going to take a quick break.
Quick break.
We'll be right back.
Be right back. Okay, so we're going to do a quick Mad Lib that Joe found. So she's going to ask me all the things real quick, and I'm going to edit them together really fast.
Okay.
So that it's not taking forever.
Okay. Adjective.
Funny.
Type of building.
Dentist office.
Verb ending in ing.
Shooting.
Verb.
Brush.
Color.
Red.
Plural noun.
Hitman.
Type of liquid.
Toothpaste.
Something alive.
Flowers.
Occupation.
Dental hygienist.
Verb.
Smacking.
Type of food.
Hamburger.
Adjective.
Wacky.
Type of event.
Divorce.
Verb.
Honking.
Animal.
Kitten.
Adjective.
Hot.
And verb.
Sex.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
This one is called Mad Libs, the one at Central Perk.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Gunther, and welcome to Central Perk, the most funny coffee dentist office in Manhattan. But I might be biased, since I've always been shooting here forever. Grab a coffee and brush anywhere you like. You can join Ross, Rachel, Monica, Phoebe, Joey, and Chandler on the red couch.
Oh.
It's very close. It's their regular spot. Rachel actually waitressed here for a while. She often mixed up the hitmen and gave customers toothpaste instead of coffee.
Oh, that would be bad.
I don't mind because she's the flowers of my dream.
Aww.
And I'm gonna marry her. So long as Ross doesn't smacking her first.
Smack her first.
Joey also worked here as a dental hygienist. He always gave free hamburgers to all the wacky girls.
Oh, I bet he did.
To cover, he'd pretend it was their birthday by singing Happy Divorce to You. Speaking of singing, maybe Phoebe will honking us a song.
Oh.
Would you like to hear her smelly kitten?
Aww.
Or little black hot hair while you
hair.
eat? Wait, why do we let her sex here again?
So as we're wrapping up this long-ass season finale bonus episode.
Do you even want to hear any more from us?
Joe, do you have any other feelings that you want to express about this season?
I like it. I don't know. I just think that it's different, and that's what I liked about it. I gravitated towards it. It was people my age. It was fun. They were hilarious. They picked on each other, but they were a family, and I just loved it.
Yeah. The only thing, I wish that there was a little more diversity.
Yeah.
You know, again, this is from 30 years later.
Right.
You know, where it's easy to go, you know, look up Brooklyn Nine-Nine and, you know, Community.
Right.
And how they're able to...
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. They're able to have different characters and different backgrounds and, you know, kind of build off that. I think that, you know, they do go out of their way to be inclusive, you know, when they're putting in side characters.
Yeah.
But that's my only big complaint. But like those other sitcoms, you know, I'm a kind of a sitcom snob.
You don't really like sitcoms.
I don't like
well.
a lot of
no,
sitcoms.
You don't.
And I don't think, you know, if you were a fan of something else, I think I would have weaned you off of it. But Friends is good. They're funny. They're funny, entertaining people.
And overall, they're just nice to each other. And I think I like that.
But I also think that one of the best things a sitcom can do is not have kids.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I think the family sitcoms, again, when I was growing up, we watched a lot of the family sitcoms. And I think that those get old really fast. And then the writers don't know what to do with the kids.
Right.
And yada, yada, yada.
We tend to like those ensemble casts, like Parks and Recreation and The Office and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the community. Those are ensemble casts. They all have, you know, quirkiness and character. But yeah, that's what I like about it. So. Right. Yeah, it's fun. I'll keep watching it.
I know. We're going to watch it right after this, I assume.
Sweater vest tracker?
Sweater vest tracker.
Right.
So, for season 1.
Yes.
21 sweater vests were worn in season 1.
A lot.
By Mr. Chandler
Of sweater
Bing.
vests.
Yes. There's 24 episodes, 21 sweater vests. There were 10 episodes with no sweater vests.
You're kidding. That's crazy. Out of 24.
Now, that doesn't include the girls. Phoebe wore a ton of sweater vests herself.
Right.
This is Chandler specific.
Right. And there were some side characters that wore sweater vests too.
And sometimes he did wear regular vests.
Yes, but we didn't count those.
But there were 10 episodes with 0 sweater vests on Chandler.
Okay.
And then there's 9 with just 1 sweater vest.
Okay.
There were 3 episodes with 2 sweater vests.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 2 episodes tied for first place with 3 sweater vests apiece on Mr. Bing himself.
That is fun. I'm glad we're tracking sweater vests.
It
I have to
makes for a
tell the
fun game.
audience, the listeners, that Adam has a spreadsheet for favorite lines, favorite outfits, the sweater vest, and he calls it the one with the Excel spreadsheet.
The one with the spreadsheet.
I just thought that was so funny. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We had fun gathering all this information. And next week, we're having another bonus episode.
Yes.
So what's next week?
Next week is going to be us watching The Whole 9 Yards.
Yay. I love that movie.
Yes. Again, as our seasonal end comes around,
Yep.
we'll have the 2 bonus episodes. One, I don't know if we'll repeat this format or do a different one. We'll have to wait and see.
Right.
But then we'll have a movie. Then we'll watch a movie. We're starring one of our friends.
Yes.
The actors, not the characters, because
Right.
Chandler didn't make any movies.
Yeah.
But Matthew Perry made...
we picked Matthew Perry because he sadly passed away this year.
Don't make yourself cry again.
I won't.
But yeah. So, and if anybody out there doesn't know, I'm going to read the synopsis of the film right now.
Right. Okay.
So, a struggling dentist, Matthew Perry, Ozaransky, his life has been turned upside down when a famous gangster, Bruce Willis, playing Jimmy Tudesky, Jimmy the Tulip Tudesky, moves in next door, and the dentist's wife tries to convince him to inform a notorious mob boss about the gangster's whereabouts.
Such a funny plot.
So, actually, Bruce Willis, hitman, moves in next door to mild-mannered dentist Matthew Perry.
And chaos ensues.
Chaos does ensue.
And several people die.
Yes. It also stars Michael Clark Duncan, Amanda Peet, Natasha Henstridge, Rosanna Arquette, and Kevin Pollak.
Yeah.
And it's all around just a super funny movie.
Yep. Don't take it too seriously. It's just funny.
It's a black comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, people are going to get whacked. People are going to have sex.
Someone's going to be naked.
It's a good one. It's a funny one. I really enjoyed it from the first time I saw it.
And I like it too because it starts the friendship of Matthew Perry and Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Because then they're in each other's movies. I know they do a whole 10 yards, but then Matthew Perry pops up in a couple other movies, not as a main character, and you don't even recognize him.
Yeah. Matthew Perry's in The Kid.
Yeah.
And he's got a big bushy beard on and big hair.
He looks like ZZ Top.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis is like an image consultant.
Yeah. So it's fun. Just pops up for a scene.
Yep.
And it's funny, but they clearly got along and had a good time together.
Yeah.
And he was ended up on Friends because of that, because of them working together on this movie.
Right. He lost a bet.
That'll be next week.
Yep. I'm excited. All right. Well, we won't bore you with any extra details because we're already gone over our time. But if you would like to leave your thoughts or reactions regarding future episodes to be shared with the rest of the class, or you just want to reach out and say hey,
come on, we want to hear from more of you misfits out there.
Email us at themaladjustedmisfits@gmail.com. Rate us and leave positive comments.
And if you have a negative comment, try to leave it in a positive way.
Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Our pages are called The One Where We Talk About Friends.
Joe, you ready for a cup of coffee?
Always. Come on, they're gonna love you.